Was the infamous royal wedding cake poisonous? Did the royal family poison however many hundreds of people came to their wedding by covering their cake in this dangerous poisonous flour? Let's find out. Hi y'all, welcome to the Sugar Scoop. I'm Shelby Bower, and today I'm going to be a peony detective. We're going to be doing some research to find out whether or not peonies are safe to put on a wedding cake. Now this all started because I was sent a message on Facebook after I posted a picture of a cake that I had made with fresh peonies, stock flowers, and some roses on it. The message that I got was a little unsettling. It was pretty much saying that peonies are extremely poisonous, that they can cause miscarriages, they can be dangerous to children. So I started looking into it, and it seems to be a very divided subject. I looked at Cake Central and all sorts of other places, and people were saying, are peonies toxic? Yes, they're toxic. Yes, they're fine to put on a cake. No, they're not. It's all over the place. So I wanted to start off with some of the articles that I was sent by the person who sent me the message. So the first article is a 1-800-Flowers article. It's under their blog Petal Talk, and it is called Your Guide to Poisonous Flowers. So they list peonies, and they have where they grow, what's poisonous, the roots, flowers, and seeds of the peonies are toxic, and symptoms. So they're saying if you actually consume a peony flower, and I'm assuming if you consume the roots, flower, and the seeds, poisoning may cause nausea, diarrhea, skin irritation, tremors, and an accelerated heartbeat. Now, if you look at the bottom of the article, there's no work cited or any kind of references. So I did contact 1-800-Flowers, and their customer rep said he personally is not an expert on poisonous flowers, but they would look into it and find out where the information came from and update me. So I'm looking out for an email from 1-800-Flowers. Then the next article that I was sent is a blog article written by the person who sent me the original Facebook message about peonies being poisonous. It's pretty much an opinion piece on peonies, and they do cite two different articles. So one of them is the Wikipedia poisonous flowers. Peonies aren't on it. Yeah, peonies are not on this list of poisonous flowers anywhere. And then if you go to the other article that's listed, it's an eHow article. This article is called Are Peonies Poisonous by Eric Love. One thing I definitely agree with is many different plants cause a choking hazard to small children. Symptoms, although it has no medical purpose, I thought it was interesting that it stated this because peonies do have a very long history of medicinal uses, and we'll go over that later in the video. It says that the peony encourages blood clotting. It may also cause excessive menstrual bleeding in women and miscarriage. So this is where that miscarriage statement came from. When consumed in larger doses, and we're talking about consuming a large amount of the plant. So this is not contact with the plant, it's eating the flower or eating the flower and the root and the seeds. When consumed in larger doses, peonies causes accelerated heartbeat, nausea, and vomiting. Some people may also experience tremors and seizures. In animals, especially house cats, along with vomiting and diarrhea, it may cause the animal to show signs of severe depression. Peony is extremely toxic to dogs. It's pretty common knowledge that peonies are poisonous to animals, but there is a lot of things that are poisonous to animals that are not to humans. Like, I can eat chocolate and my dog can't, so they're kind of combining these two into the same paragraph. If you go farther down, it says to call poison control, which we're going to do next. If you go all the way down to the bottom, it does have some references. It has two references, and they're both broken links. So now we're going to call the National Poison Control Hotline. This is actually my second time calling. The first time I got the same answer, but I didn't record it, so this time I will record it on video for you guys to watch. See, and I'm pushing call.
Thank you for calling the Texas Poison Control Network. If you are a healthcare professional, please press 1. Otherwise, to speak to the next available specialist in poison information, please press 2.
Center. May I help you?
Hi, I don't have an emergency. I just wanted to ask a question.
Okay.
I was wondering if peonies are toxic.
If what?
Peonies, the flower?
How do you spell that?
Peony.
Peon. Peon?
Yes.
Let me see. The toxins found in them are found in the roots.
Okay. So, like, just the floral part,
The flower part, no, not toxic.
Okay. Okay.
But there are some slightly toxic substances found in the root bark. Yeah, because it could maybe impart a bitter taste if some of the sap got on the cake, but not going to present any toxicity.
Okay, and I was told, I just wanted to ask you this. I was told that peonies could cause miscarriages. So is that talking about the root?
Yeah, the toxin found in the roots has been known to cause paralysis or contact dermatitis, but I don't see anything about, I don't see any information about pregnancy.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
But like I said, that is confined to the root. The flowers are non-toxic.
Okay, thank you. So I googled death from ingesting peony just to see if anything came up, and I could not find any cases. I purchased this guide by Shanee Sweet Creations, a guide to help you choose and properly prepare fresh flowers to safely decorate your cake. So Shanee has created a very comprehensive field guide to identifying flowers and whether or not they are safe or poisonous to put on a cake. She has color-coded the guide. It's about 26 pages long, so flowers with a green outline are edible or non-toxic variety and are safe to put on a cake. Yellow means that they're mildly toxic, so use with caution. Definitely prepare properly or very carefully, or just decorate the cake table with them. And then red ones are poisonous and do not put those on a cake whatsoever. Now, if you notice, both of the peonies in her guide blurred everything else out because you should buy it. It's $10 and it's awesome and I totally recommend it. I got permission from Shanee to show this. Peonies are outlined in green, so that means they're safe to put on a cake. She has done her research on all these different flowers and this is what she concluded. This is with preparing flowers the way that she recommends, and I'll link it below. So thank you, Shanee, for letting me use this in my video. So now we're going to look at a YouTuber called Spirit of Wild Wings. He posts a lot about outdoor cooking. He has an edible flower series. We're going to watch him eat a peony. This guy actually goes and takes a petal from a peony and puts it in his mouth and eats it. I have a feeling that this guy does this a lot. So I'm just going to Google, are peonies toxic? So one of the first posts is, are peonies poisonous, from the New York Times. To the living section, and don't throw those bouquets away, cook them. The author Carolyn Jabs mentions that peonies can be sampled without fear. 2 days ago, I read that peonies, especially the flowers, are extremely poisonous, sometimes fatal, in the Herb book by John Lust, published by Bantam. The book states on page 305, caution, the entire plant is poisonous, the flowers especially so. A tea made of the flowers can be fatal. Carolyn Jabs replies, peonies are not listed in any of the standard references on poisonous plants, according to Dr. R.W. Moriarty, director of the National Poison Center Network in Pittsburgh. This is a quote, there is nothing to indicate that peony petals are troublesome. The center maintains extensive files on poisonings across the country. Though there have been reports on exposure to peonies, there is, according to Dr. Moriarty, no evidence that they are toxic. So that's from a doctor that works for the poison control of Pittsburgh. Let's just Wikipedia peony. There's a lot of information on Wikipedia about peonies, but I thought this was interesting. Ancient Chinese texts mention that peony was used for flavoring food. Confucius is quoted to have said, "I eat nothing without its sauce. I enjoy it very much because of its flavors." So peonies have been used and cultivated in China since early history. There's a lot of evidence about them being used for medicinal purposes in China. There's a lot of references as well on the Wikipedia article on peonies. So if we look at peony tea, it seems to be made out of the root of the peony plant, and it has a different name, Madan, I don't know how to pronounce it. But if we go to a Livestrong article, they have an article on white peony tea health benefits. So extract from the root of the white peony herb may be steeped in boiling water to create a tea. So it has blood thinning properties, which may be, you know, one of the side effects if you eat too much, causing the like menstrual problems or miscarriages. Blood vessel dilation. So there is peonol, is a property in peony that is used for medicines that could have adverse reactions if you eat too much of it. And there's a lot of references on this article, so I would definitely recommend reading it. I'll link it below, but it talks about all the different kind of chemicals in peonies that cause the different medicinal benefits that if you eat too much could be poisonous, but you're talking about eating a whole bunch of peony root. So that's a little different than putting it on a cake. 12 surprising facts all peony enthusiasts should know, and this is from southernliving.com. So if you think about it, it probably holds the same amount of weight as 1-800-Flowers, particularly wedding bouquets. What? Peonies make the best bouquets. So this is interesting because if you have a peony in a bouquet, you would think if they were really poisonous, you wouldn't be able to hold the bouquet for very long. So it says peonies initially were grown for medicinal purposes. These blooms hail from China and Europe, where they were used to treat headaches, asthma, and childbirth pain. So again, that goes in with that paralysis that the guy was talking about. So it seems to have substance in the root that stops your muscles from working, paralyzes you. So maybe in small doses, it acts like a muscle relaxer. Peony petals are edible. In China, the petals are parboiled and sweetened for use as tea time delicacy in summer salads or garnished for punches and lemonades. I'm going to look up peonies university studies. So let's go to side effects because that's what we care about. So side effects. If used in recommended amounts, peony is not associated with side effects. It is not known whether peony is safe for use during pregnancy, though there is an uncontrolled study showing it could safely be used to lower blood pressure in pregnant women. Let's look at their references. Okay, they have plenty of references. I did do my own little at-home research where I took a peony. I'll reenact it. So I took a real peony and I rubbed it on my arm, and I followed the guide for how to determine, like, if you're lost in the wild, the wilderness, and you need to eat, how to determine if a plant is edible or not. So I waited 8 hours to see if I had any kind of rash or irritation on my skin, and I didn't. So then I took the same peony petals and I rubbed them on my lips. Now, I didn't quite make it to putting the petals in my mouth because after waiting 16 hours, that peony that I had started to kind of get really old. So I might have to do that in another video. But so far, it hasn't caused me any kind of rash, and I haven't had any kind of allergic reaction around my mouth. And what that means is there's no like instant irritation like you would get from something that's super poisonous like poison ivy. So to show you guys the difference, I looked up rash from poison ivy, and you can see all sorts of images of people and their horrible rashes from poison ivy. And I did the same thing for peonies. So I looked up rash from peony flower, and nothing comes up showing anybody's rashes. It's just a bunch of pictures of really pretty peony flowers. I did try Googling this multiple different ways, and I still couldn't find anybody that had a picture of a rash from a peony online. So here's my final thoughts. I don't think there's enough research to show that peonies are as dangerous as some people were telling me. From the evidence that I've seen and the research that I've done, that if prepared properly, I feel like it's totally safe to put peonies on a cake. And if you have any information that states otherwise, and you can actually give me hard evidence, like any kind of like anything to back it up besides just like an eHow article or a 1-800-Flowers article, or your grandma told you, then I would love to hear it. So please send it to me. My email is info@shelbyelizabethcakes.com. I would love to get emails about peonies from you guys, and maybe I'll make a follow-up video. But this is what I've concluded. So thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel to see more. I do want to add a little disclaimer that says that I'm not advocating to eat peonies in any way. I do want to just make a note that peonies are dangerous to animals, so if your cake is going to anyway be near your dogs or whatnot, then maybe it's best to use a different kind of flour. And please, if you feel uncomfortable, then make them out of gum paste. I'm just trying to show that there, shouldn't be so much fear going on about putting fresh peonies on a cake, but just be safe and, do your due diligence as a decorator to make sure that everything that you put on your cake is non-toxic and safe for your clients. And remember that flowers will always be removed before serving. And go forth and happy cake decorating, everybody.